Welcome to the 2019 Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships. I am Erikah Weir.
And I am Andrea Eaton.
And we are here to bring you coverage. Hole 1, we are playing the 405 feet par 3 all the way across the water. It is the basket you can see there from the drone coverage. You have two choices. You can either bail out off to the right-hand side or carry all the way across the water.
This is a great first hole to get started. Right off the tee box, we've got Paige Bjerkaas. She has decided, really, I think she was maybe trying to carry, but unfortunately gets caught up in the bush early. Next on the tee pad, Erikah Weir, opting for her signature forehand.
Yeah, I was trying just to get around the tree with a Pro Thunderbird just to have it land, and luckily I was successful. And then I think we have Andrea up next. She's gonna go the full flight route and really take that disc and flex it all the way out and across the water.
Yeah, really just trying to get over the water and land somewhere safe to get a good look at the basket. Kona Panis is the last off the tee box for this first hole. Puts it out there nice high, flat. It's going to give her a little bit of a flex line.
And she makes it all the way across. It was a beautiful shot. Unfortunately for Paige, I think we're going to see her here in just a minute. She was really stuck in the thick of that tree, so her only choice was to pitch out, which I think was a really smart decision on her part. She'll go ahead and pitch out and then lay up here to the basket for her easy tap in. So she definitely did her best just to get up and down off of this hole.
Yeah, it's tricky. To get behind those bushes, there really is no way out or around there. So the smart play for her was just to go ahead and pitch out and then work her way towards the basket. Erikah's up. She is going to opt again for that forehand. Got some trees to contend with. Gets it low under there and pitches it up, so she'll have a look for her par.
We've got Kona outside here. She's going to go with a jump putt. I believe she was going with one of her XT Colts. That's what she was using during this tournament. It was a great bid. It's going to give her a safe shot for par. Andrea's going to take one of her bullfrogs here and go for it. She's right off the rim. It was a great run at it.
I wanted it too.
I thought you had it, for sure.
Paige lining up her putt.
I'm going to put money down and say that's a judge.
I think that you're right.
And she slams it.
Nice and smooth. Taking a bogey on the first hole. Unfortunately just getting caught up in that tree early, but she is moving on to hole 2.
I have an XT Whale. This is the putter that I've been using for the 2019 season. I was well within the circle, but I am happy to report that I was much more nervous than the putt looked, but very happy to get off of hole number 1 with a par.
Yeah, this is such a fun tournament, and I think the energy around it, and then, just the first hole, I think in any tournament, the nerves are there. You're really just trying to feel out how the day is going to go. So I think everybody's happy to take the first basket, get it over with, and move on to the second.
Absolutely.
Hole 2 is a 458 par 3. You are seeing a pretty open field. There is OB on the right with the fence and the rock. There's OB on the left on the sidewalk, which really doesn't come into play, and then that lake. Really just trying to land out in the field and give yourself an easy look for your upshot and working to get your par 3.
I'm going to lead us off. I'm choosing a forehand, trying to make sure I can utilize the fairway as best as possible. That's a old school Pro Wraith, and I land right in the middle. It's pretty much where I wanted to be.
It's a nice shot. I am also throwing a Pro Wraith, and for me, just a normal backhand. Unfortunately, I saw it off a little bit early and pretty high, and I end up OB.
We've got Kona here. I think we failed to mention Kona is sponsored by Innova Champion Disc, so I'm sure she's taken a driver there off the tee. I want to say she cut it a little bit closer than she meant to, but she's still going to end up okay.
Paige, off the tee box, again, hers is going to Anheuser out a little bit, maybe a little bit more than what she wanted, but she is landing in a safe spot where she'll have a look at the basket.
Yeah. So we have Kona here. I want to take a guess and say this might be one of her star rats. She's opting to go out and about around that out of bounds, and she has a perfect hyzer shot and lays it up perfectly inside the circle. That was very well executed.
Yeah, that was definitely trickier than it looked. I am pinched under some trees. I did go out of bounds, so I've had to get on both knees, try to get low and around those trees.
That was a
And
great upshot.
thank you.
Very
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
very well executed. I'm out here. I have a G-Star Valkyrie, pretty sure. Trying to go out and around those trees just to get it to settle in. I missed my line, but still inside the circle.
Yep. And last up here, the upshot, Paige Bjerkaas.
Never know if she's running it or not with
Right.
Paige. She had amazing close calls this weekend with
Yeah.
great shots from the wild side. Andrea's there with her bullfrog and puts it in. She's going to take a bogey, but I think that felt like a great par for you.
Yeah.
The out of bounds it is what it is, but walking away with that 4 that's all right too.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the nerves of just
100%.
starting this tournament. But
Yeah.
Paige is going to put it in for par. Little wave there, the Paige wave.
Paige wave.
Is going to line up her putt. I believe that you're up next. Just looking to put it in and move on.
Yeah, you were talking about nerves, and I had just come off of AM Worlds for this tournament, so this was my first time playing professionally, and I'm pretty confident I was shaking on multiple tee pads, but you got to fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Kona's just here for a tap in. A little bit more than a tap in.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to take away from her UDisc stats.
There you go.
Great shot, Kona.
Nice and easy. On to hole 3, which is a pretty tricky hole.
Yeah, hole 3 here, you can see the basket is across this pond. I wouldn't call it an island, but it certainly feels like it plays like that. So you have a couple different options. Maybe lay up to the water, go across if you're feeling strong all the way across, or you can go out and around to the right to try to keep yourself safe. And then away you go.
Yeah, tons of OB, tons of trees to get around. Erikah's lining up a shot. Unfortunately, just throws, I think, a little bit lower maybe than you wanted.
Right into the ground.
Yeah. So, but it's really hard because you have to get under and around that tree if you're opting for that route out to the right.
Yeah, we've got Kona here. Look, I think she takes the mid. She throws a beautiful shot, turning over just the right amount, clears the reeds, and she is well within inside the circle.
Beautiful shot.
Couldn't have drawn it up better.
Paige is looking to go over the water as well. Also a beautiful shot.
Great shot.
Clears the pond and has a look for her birdie.
Yeah. We have Andrea here as well. She's got this great lane as being a left-handed player to also go out and across the water.
Yeah, it's taken my G-Star Destroyer and really I knew it was going to hyzer out. I wanted to play it safe and at least give myself a look across there.
It was a great shot. I'm taking another G-Star Valkyrie, trying to head all the way out and across. Again, missed my line a little bit. I do catch a little bit of trees. It keeps me safe.
Yep.
So I'm happy to have a putt at it.
Safe on this hole is good.
Safety first.
Arrive alive.
Andrew's running. She gets it. That was such a great birdie.
That was a fun putt.
How'd you feel after that?
Great. You saw the
Awesome.
little fist pumps.
I did.
Very exciting, to kind of settle in and say, okay, we can do this today, and it's going to be a really fun round. So that was a fun putt.
That was great. And I was definitely obstructed here. You can see me kind of playing around with the rocks behind the bush. Just trying to hopefully walk away with a par. But I miss.
Edges off the chains just a little bit. It really is a tricky hole because once you get across, if you don't have an open view to the basket, you can see all those bushes. It's really tricky to get a good look. So
It's a little bit deceiving because you are in bounds. You're excited to be in bounds, but you still have a difficult putt. So
Paige.
Paige was going for her birdie, just hits off the front of that cage. She'll just go ahead and tap in and take a 3. Kona's looking to match you for your birdie here.
Yep. No real danger for Kona. There is OB behind, but you really have to yank one to the right or left and have it roll across. So pretty easy putt for her.
Definitely.
Erikah's going to come in and put hers in.
And then we'll move on to hole 4.
I think that's the most daunting hole on the course in terms of stepping on the tee pad and
Yeah.
figuring out how you're going to go across. We are now on hole 4. It's 247 par 3. There is OB on the right and behind the basket. Really, this is an open shot. It shouldn't provide much difficulty. It's uphill, so it plays a little bit longer, but this is definitely a birdieable hole for all the competitors in this field.
Definitely. Kona's going to step up. She's opting with a forehand for control. She puts it out a little wider than I would just take a guess and say that she wanted, but she's still up there and safe.
Yep. No danger over there. That's an MD3 that I'm going to throw. Again, just trying to get it up there close enough to the basket for a birdie. Let it go a little bit early again. Unfortunately, it is going to once again hyzer out and end up out of bounds.
We've got Paige stepping up with one of her signature judges. She has a perfect release. It's nice and high, kind of rides that Anheuser route and settles in right behind those pine trees. It's a great shot.
It is amazing to watch her throw
A putter?
those shots, and
Or
it just
anything?
floats through the air and lands perfectly. So great
Yeah.
shot for her. Erikah's going to opt for her forehand here, so lining it up off the tee. Throws it out there, comes back in towards the basket. Has a good look for birdie, maybe a little wider once again than you wanted,
Yeah.
but you've got a shot.
Kona and I were kind of on the same trajectory, unfortunately. She's a little bit further out, so she'll take that jump putt first.
Just misses. It's a tough putt, even though it looks so wide open. Those trees are strategically placed, I
They
would say.
certainly are, there's no doubt.
Erikah's going to line up her putt. Was that tree in your way on this one?
You know, looking back at the footage, I feel like it was a little bit, but I still had a line for, I feel like I have a natural hyzer putt, so it didn't quite get in the way, so
All
it
right.
felt all right. Yeah. And now, were you in?
No, I
Okay.
was out of bounds.
Okay.
And as I stepped in, that tree was in
Yes.
the way. So unfortunately had that to contend with and wasn't able to connect on that putt. So I'm going to go clean this up.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we just have Paige there, so you can see that both Paige and Kona just have their putters off to the right-hand side of the basket, so just a little bit more cleanup. Kona takes her time and center chains, which is great, and Paige just steps up for a little bit of a tap in there, and that's the beauty. I mean, talking to Paige, playing the rounds, when you have those discs that you trust, and for her it is her putter, whether she's throwing it in open or throwing it in the field, she just has such great control of it.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.
We're back to hole number 5. Pretty straightforward. You've got a line. If you're a lefty or forehand, luckily enough, righty, you're going to contend with some trees. There is out of bounds. You can see the sidewalk winds around the basket. All along that right-hand side is trouble. And there is a bit of a slope, so you're kind of contending with that off the tee box as well.
Yeah, you were lower than a few of the trees right off the tee pad, so you had to decide whether you were going to go through them or over them. Paige is opted for a huge Anheuser. Unfortunately, she threw it really huge, and it ended up out of bounds.
You do get a nice shot of the freak there, though. That's Colton and Kona's tour bus that they've been riding around in, or should I say tour van.
Yeah.
I went ahead with my Pro Wraith off the tee, just, again, opting for something nice and safe to stay in the fairway so I have a good upshot at the basket.
Kona's lining up a backhand, really looking to get it turned. I think she kissed off that tree just a little bit.
Yeah, redirected a little.
Yep, no issues there. She's going to be nice and safe.
Andrea steps up. Is this your Wraith?
It is a destroyer.
Destroyer, okay. Yeah, so she's got a natural backhand line here. She executes that well. That's going to give her a beautiful, clear shot up to the basket, so nothing to worry about there.
Erikah's lining up again, the forehand. I feel like I'm saying that over and over, but it's because you do such a beautiful job throwing those. Nice and easy. Was that your AVR X3?
It was.
Yeah.
Yep, Star AVR X3.
Right up to the basket.
Yep. Andrea's got her bullfrog here.
Yeah, really a soft bid. Enough that if I
Anytime
hit it
you're
great.
drawing metal on the second shot, I think that's a great bid to run
I'll
at for
take
sure.
it. little nervous with the out of bounds right behind it, but, really no issues. Paige is going to really going to go for it here.
One of her
little jump, but
ooh,
she ran like she thought she had it.
she wanted it.
Yeah, it's hard to see on the coverage how deep that valley is. So when you're putting, you are going uphill at the basket.
Definitely.
Kona's giving it a little bit of a run. We're all going to really just have some cleanup here, really close to the basket, dropping in our pars. I guess Paige may be the only one walking away with the bogey, just with that out of bounds off the tee box.
It was a nice recovery. I mean, I'm sure she would have loved to walk out of there with a 3. And her step putts are deadly. You never know if they're going to drop in or not. But it was a great run. She was a little bit safer coming from that right side to get some freedom from the out of bounds.
Hole 6, another tricky one that carries across the water right off the bat. You do have a mando tree on your left that you have to clear, so you have to be right of that tree. The sidewalk is inbounds on this one, so really the danger is just going in the water or missing that mando. Hoping to get up in a spot where you've got a really good look in here at the basket. There are some low-hanging trees that can get in your way if you're not careful.
Yeah.
You're going to see a backhand.
We are going to see a backhand, yeah. Luckily, that natural line sort of hits the gap that you see there. I say gap loosely. Obviously, there's a lot of space there, but I never try to tango with a mando tree if I can help it. So, backhand felt very secure there.
I loved watching that shot from you because it provides a different line into the basket than anything I would ever think about. So seeing where you landed and your opportunity to get in was great.
Now, Kona takes a very similar line to me, but she executes it even better. She knows her dish. She knows that's going to hyzer for her. She is safe at that mando tree and has a great open look to the basket. Yeah. Now, you as a lefty, you're contending a little bit tighter here. So I can see you take a step.
Yeah.
Reassure yourself. I remember being with you, and I was like, that's smart to reassess.
When I throw my pro wraith here, because normally it's going to flex a little bit and come back, I really didn't want to throw a big hyzer and potentially miss that mando. So I just wanted to play it safe, so I had to look in.
Yeah.
Paige is going to throw a high hyzer and let that fade right in towards that gap that we're looking at. She's wanting it to get up, but it's a great shot. She's got a good look.
Everybody has arrived safely across with shots up. So I'm going to take my X3, and that green tent in the background, that is Gazebo Disc Golf. They're the sponsor on this hole. So there might be some cheers in the background from owner and operator Josh over there.
Good job as always.
Oh, Andrew, what disc are you throwing?
I'm actually throwing the exact same AVR X3. We'll talk about the funny stuff
when we get up there, for sure. So she's up there under the basket, Paige in her true style, playing a little quick. Never know if she's running it or not. Oh, so close. So close. And then I think we just have Kona. She's CTP on this hole, so she's opting with a nice backhand upshot there. Yep. I love that she gives it enough height, hopes that it would crash in. You got to put it up there to know, right?
So as we were stepping up to our putts, Erikah and I threw the exact same disc and didn't even think that I should check as to which disc. Luckily, I actually chose mine. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I was like, let's look down and double check. I had an X3, and when Andrea was trying out some Innova plastic, I was like, you got to try this disc. So she ended up keeping it, but it was the first time we'd ever played together in a sanctioned tournament and had to worry about what was what. So
I will think about that from now on.
Just a little reminder to those out there. If you threw yellow, make sure it's not the same exact stamp, but obviously, we're just providing a little bit of color commentary over these. We've got some cleanup putts, and I think it's always great for any card if they can walk away with a star par, especially on an intimidating hole like that. Number 7 here, this is only 193 feet, but it is very tricky. The sidewalk winds down around the left as well as the right-hand side. The slope, not quite sure if you can see it from the drone coverage, but it is dramatically different from the tee pad, so it does feel like you're throwing downhill. And with any type of skips, you could find yourself in the road, so you gotta be really careful.
Yeah. And not to mention the guardian trees that are around. You do have to throw it high enough that you can miss the hill, things like that, but also low enough that you get around those trees. Opting for the forehand there with Erikah going around those guys.
Yeah. Kona's gonna throw her star rat. She gets it out and around and crashes safely just before the guardian trees on that one.
Shot. I'm going with the standstill. I've got my floppy Champ Rhino, which I absolutely love, and really just wanted to have it land somewhere safely and have a look.
Nice shot. if I had to put money on it, I'd say that Paige is going to go ahead and throw a hyzer putter. There she goes.
It's almost like you know.
Executing that strategy. There she goes. Now, I will say prior to this tournament being played, we did experience quite a bit of rain. The grass is tall and it is not very skippy. So you saw her shot basically just settle.
Yep. Yeah, the skip was not in play on most of the holes for this tournament. So you had to really hit the spot. You knew it was going to stick where it landed. And so making sure that you were executing and hitting the line that you wanted to hit.
Definitely. So we just saw Paige. She was a little short. We got Kona stepping up here. And she almost made it. You see her point up there.
Yeah.
That branch came into play, and it wasn't even something that was in her mind. So even when you think you're free and clear, checking those surroundings.
Yep.
Boom. That's a birdie.
I'll take it.
Great shot.
Thank you. Yeah, the hole, like you mentioned, seems straightforward and easy, but really there are just so many features, like you had just mentioned, the branch that you don't even really see that can snag your disc. So execution is key.
Nice shot, Paige.
Nice. Grabs her par. That was a pretty tricky uphill putt as well.
It is. And you see those discs sitting underneath the basket. The one thing that looks like a disc off to that right-hand side is a sprinkler head cover, which I think threw us all for a loop.
Yeah.
We thought that there was maybe another disc under there, but... and I know it seems silly to clear a chain, but anytime you're putting for a birdie, you want to have total focus there. So
Just some course maintenance.
I went ahead and did it anyway, just to be sure.
Everybody behind you will appreciate it. Kona just drops hers in.
Perfect.
Yeah, for her par. And so now we are moving on to the next hole.
Yep. Hole 8.
Yeah, this is hole 8. So 232 par 3. There's OB left, there's OB right, there's OB behind the basket, there are bushes and trees. I do have a lefty hyzer line, just trying to get high enough over those bushes. The righties really trying to go straight forward, or if you're throwing the hyzer out, there are just tons of trees to contend with, and then low hanging trees by the basket. So it really is tricky.
Yeah. So I'm stepping up, throwing a new disc for me. This is a Star Stingray. I threw it at Am Worlds, and I was shocked to find that there's actually discs out there that move from left to right,
Nice.
Which was perfect for this hole. So Andrea's taken this lefty hyzer route here. She puts it up nice and high, trying to get it to crash.
It crashed.
It crashed right
Into
through
the
the bush. That's okay though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tricky. I just knew for me that was an easier line to go up and over, just a little bit low.
Yeah.
Kona's going to try to go up the gut. She's taking that hyzer line and crashing down with the trees.
Yeah.
So staying safe and balanced. She's pretty close to that line, but she
Yep.
made it.
Miss Paige Bjerkaas here, going up and over. She's got such a beautiful release on that Anheuser. She, again, couldn't have dreamt up a better line for that. That's a perfect throw for Paige.
It just floats.
Absolutely. Kona's from the outside here. She's going to go ahead and lay that up under the basket.
Not much of a look for her with those trees in the way, so that was a smart play.
Yeah, you were stuck out behind that bush, but, being behind you on the card, I can certainly vouch. That was more of a run than the camera showed. You had a really nice look at it.
Yeah. Paige lining up her putt. Putting it in, easy birdie.
Nice shot, Paige.
Smiling as always. Erikah's going to line up her putt. Is that your whale?
It's my XT whale. Yep. It's my tried and true. That pink one is definitely the one that is my mainstay putter. The blue one I kind of hold as a security blanket.
I am a two-putter as well, because that's how you practice. You have two things in your hand, so I just like to do the same thing more playing on the course.
Yeah. We've got Kona here with her XT Colt.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, missed that one. That's a putt that Kona is going to make routinely. I don't know if it was something in her mind or if it got stuck on her hand, but just missed that one, just a little bit off. But she cleans it up and drops it in for her bogey.
And this course, as you're seeing, it's beautifully manicured, very well maintained by the town of Superior. But there are a lot of women on the course, so there might have been a spectator in the background that we couldn't see from that angle. You could see people in the back.
Yeah.
You're just never quite sure.
Yeah.
Hole number 9 is 367 feet. Again, it seems like we've got a little bit of a theme here with out of bounds on both sides of that fairway, but we love the challenge. So we've got the street and to the left, and we've got the sidewalk off to the right. You see here there are some guardian trees, and you're going to wind around. You can't see the pin from where you are, so you're just trying to get through those trees. I definitely released a little early, played more with the out of bounds than I intended to do.
Right. Yeah. And it is tricky because you have to decide if you're going wide, you're going straight at it.
Definitely.
What the play is going to be. Paige is opting for her high hyzer, trying to just get out and around those trees and land in a spot where she's got to look at the basket. Gets caught up by one of the last trees over there, but she's still going to have a clean look in.
Now, Andrea's got a different line than most of us. I thought you were going to go out and around that out of bounds, but you just take it straight up the gut with beautiful shot. I want to say pro-wraith?
Yeah, that's the pro-wraith. It's a little flippy. I just wanted to get it, not hit the camper or the light pole and get through there.
Smart choice.
Yeah.
We got Kona here. She's the last in our bunch this time around. She's beautiful hyzer. She misses those guardian trees, so you can see her just kind of skip a little bit. She's in an ideal landing zone where she is.
Yeah. Out and around, something you don't see from me very often is a forehand, working on them, but I just needed to get out and around those bushes. Couldn't really get there with a backhand. So I ended up landing a little bit long, I think, at the basket, actually, but I've got to look in.
Yeah. And I remember right as we were going to throw, it felt like the wind kicked up. There was a little bit of a storm. We never actually got the rain that day, but instead of opting for a putter, I went with a mortar. I knew it was going to hold a little bit more for myself, so I went with that. So you can see the trees in Paige's shot here that the wind has kicked up. Paige is trying to take her time. She's got some roots to contend with. She's got the tree in the back. She certainly doesn't want to injure herself. So she's really trying to figure out what line is going to work best for her. She settles with her backhand. It's a great shot by Paige. She really had to work for it in the wind. You could see she put a little bit of extra snap on that, but executed it well and put it right under the basket.
Kona has to, again, kind of go to that forehand, work around a bush, nice and soft, great touch on that shot, lands by the basket, and she should have an easy look into the basket. I'm 20-some feet probably out.
That was a great shot.
Yeah, managed to drop it in the bucket. So I had a look. I was actually thankful to be around that tree because it did give me an open look in there to the basket.
Definitely.
So
So Paige's shot, like we said, she had to put a little bit more zip on it. Now it's more calm in the putting circle. She's still within circle range and goes up and puts it right in the center chains. No problem there. So after a little bit of a tricky upshot, she took her time and executed a great par.
Yep. So I think you're under those trees just a little bit. It looks like maybe those are in your view.
A little bit, yeah. So I was trying to debate, do I want to take a knee or not? The putt before on hole 8, I was sort of under the trees and I made it, so I just decided to go with it. Sometimes I think out there on the course, you know, that's how you feel.
Yeah.
You obviously are going to play the way that you practice, and I was just hopeful that it worked out.
And it did. You were able to drop that in. Kona is going to tap in. Oh, unfortunately, just off the side.
Yeah. So Kona's going to tap in, and that'll close out this front 9 of the first round. Stay tuned, and we will bring you the back 9 in just a few.